Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, today's going to be a quick video. We're going to be talking about a situation we've been documenting for a very long time. The ongoing legal and geopolitical dispute between the military government in Niger and the French uranium company, Orano. Now, as you already know, about last summer, about a year ago, actually, France was kicked out. They were evicted from the uranium mines in Africa. Right. And of course, as you already know, they've been pulling out all the stops. They've been launching lawsuits and arbitration. Like I said, frivolous lawsuit, throw the lawsuit in the garbage. Right now, for many decades now, France and also the European Union as a whole has been benefiting from the pillage of the uranium in Niger. Right. I believe for about a majority of the electricity in France came from the steady, cheap supply of uranium they were getting from Niger, right? And because of that, they were able to have direct access to low-cost nuclear energy for basically pennies on the dollar, right? French citizens, French households were able to enjoy the luxury of electricity at low, stable prices for a very long time, right? Not many blackouts, not many energy shortages. Now, in the modern day, this is off topic, but I'm hearing it's some blackouts happening in France, these days. But anyway, that's besides the point, right? But like I said, for a very long time, many decades, France was able to benefit from the pillage of the uranium in West Africa. And not only France, but also the European Union as a whole, because France also served as a middleman reselling uranium to other European nations in the European Union, right? So millions of European citizens were able to benefit off the pillage of the African continent. But unfortunately, sometime last summer that came to a close when France lost access to the uranium. And now, about a year later, they are now announcing bankruptcy on their uranium operations in Africa. Take a look up on the screen, right? France's Orano says that its Niger uranium mine is on the verge of bankruptcy. Let's jump into the article. French uranium miner Orano said on Wednesday that its majority-owned joint venture with Niger is on the verge of bankruptcy as a result of export restrictions imposed by the military government. Right now, let's talk about that. What they're basically saying is due to the fact that they no longer have access to the uranium, they're not able to sell the uranium. They're not able to generate income. And because they're not able to generate income, they're not able to generate cash flow, which means that there's no revenue, which means that they cannot pay their expenses, which means that bankruptcy. And the reason for that is the military government has not allowed them to export the uranium, similar to how the military government in Mali has not allowed Barrick, the mining company over there, to export the gold. Now, if you remember, sometime towards the end of last year, the French government, because this is a company that is owned by the French government, right? Orano is a French state-owned company. The French government tried to save the day and come to the rescue. And take a look up on the screen. The French Uranium Group gets a 300 million euro investment from the state, right? So the government went into the treasury to, keep the company on life support and make sure that they were able to pay their bills, even though they had zero revenue coming in. So like I said before, the writing was already on the wall. Once the government had to step in to save the company and inject capital into the company, the bankruptcy was already declared back then. But now they have formally come out and admitted, listen, we broke. We are down on our knees, right? They have now come out and it formally admitted that we have them on their knees. Now let's continue. Orano was forced to suspend production at Somer after authorities halted exports last year. Niger's government seized the operation in December and announced plans to nationalize it last month, joining a wave of West African governments seeking greater control of natural resources from foreign companies. Niger, which also exports gold and coal, is the world's seventh largest uranium producer. The country accounted for about 15% of Orano's uranium supply when its local unit operated at full capacity. Orano told Reuters in emailed responses to questions that it had been flagging Somer's worsening financial position since October as its year-long dispute with the West African nation has escalated. Niger's Ministry of Mines did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Orano's assessment of the financial position. In its decision to nationalize the mine, the military government, which seized power back in 2023, said Orano has been extracting 86.3% of uranium production since 1971, despite holding only 63% stake in the mine, right? So like I said, just like Barrick Gold, committing financial crimes, right? Barrick Gold doesn't want to pay their taxes, their $500 million tax bill, and Orano running off with damn near 90% of the uranium when they only have a 63% stake, which means that they are underreporting on their extractions. And which means that they've definitely have not been paying their taxes. Now let's continue. Uranium said that it wanted the venture's remaining financial resources to be used to pay employee salaries and to maintain industrial facilities. Uranium prices are up 7% so far this year, having hit a 7-month high of $79 a pound last week. The company, which said it reserves the right to legal action, did not specify its next steps as Niger moves forward with nationalization plans. Now, yes, as you can see, Uranium, they want to take legal action. Currently, right now, Uranium actually has multiple lawsuits against the country currently as we speak, right? I know everybody wants to sue everybody. Oh, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to go to the court and sue you. You know, a bunch of clowns trying to sue people, right? So Uranium currently has multiple lawsuits against the country right now, right? Now, if you ask me, it's not going to go anywhere, right? You might as well throw the lawsuit in the garbage. But regardless, they're still trying to put up a last ditch fighting effort to maintain access to the precious uranium. I don't know what it is, man. It seems that everybody wants to sue Africa nowadays, or we're going to go sue African nations. We're going to go sue African countries. Nobody is going to give a damn about your frivolous lawsuit. We're going to take the lawsuit and wipe our ass with it. That's what we're going to do with your lawsuits when you sue African nations. We're going to take the lawsuit and we're going to wipe our butt with it. Now, Uranium has no case. I'm going to tell you right now, Uranium, you have no case because according to the government, you have been taking an 86% cut of the uranium this whole entire time when you've only had a 63% stake in the mine, which means that you have breached the contract. Just like Barrick Gold, you have breached the contract. You cannot take somebody to court when you are guilty of corruption and fraud and thievery and robbery. You cannot take somebody to court when you are guilty of crimes yourself, brother. Like, come on. At a certain point in time, we have to look in the mirror and get your arrogance in check, right? You are the defendant in this case, right? You are not the plaintiff. You have no legitimacy to be a plaintiff and bring a case against anybody. You're a fraud and a criminal, and you should be behind bars for years and years, right? Take all your executives, throw them into prisons. Facts. And in fact, if the military government in Niger was actually, if they really wanted to do so, they could launch a counter lawsuit against you and demand compensation for all those years of lost revenue when you were underreporting on your extractions and you wasn't paying your taxes and the environmental damage, right? If you really want to take it to court, baby, you're going to be coming out of pocket even more. You already bankrupt. You don't even got no goddamn money. But go ahead, take it to court. I want to see you take it to court, right? We need to make an example out of you so the other guys who want to bring lawsuits against African countries, they can get an idea of what's going to happen when their lawsuit comes before a judge. We're going to throw that lawsuit in the garbage. But go ahead, take your lawsuit to court and see how far you get. You're going to find out that you're going to be the one that ends up paying damages. You're going to be the one that ends up paying money to the government. Take it to court. I dare you. Take a look up on the screen. Back in December, Uranium initiates arbitration against the state of Niger following the withdrawal of their mining license. Then weeks after that, now take a look up on the screen. Uranium initiates a second arbitration procedure vis-a-vis the state of Niger following the loss of operational control over Somaire, right? Now Somaire, that's the subsidiary that basically controlled all the uranium operations for the French government, right? Now, if you ask me, France needs to let it go, right? The government has already taken control over the mine, over operations. Take a look up on the screen. Back in June, Niger nationalizes the uranium mine operated by France's Uranium, right? So all the operations have been taken over by the state. So there's nothing you can do. You have lost your license. You have lost access to the mine. You have not been allowed to export uranium or sell uranium for over a year. And now the government has taken control over the entire company. So just let it go, bro. Just let it go. Throw the lawsuit in the garbage. Just listen, accept your losses, accept defeat, and just go back home and, just go back to your country, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go back to your country. The same thing y'all tell us in France. Go back to your damn country, right? Go back to your stupid country and leave us alone, bro. Go back to your damn country and go mine uranium in France. Oh, I forgot. You don't got no uranium. You don't even got no uranium, brother. That's what I'm hearing about, power outages in France nowadays. I hear it was a power outage like last week in France. Anyway, like I said, man, just accept defeat, cut your losses, and just go back to your country, bro. Stop trying to go to court. Stop trying to file lawsuits. We're not paying attention to it. We're not taking it serious. You're going to end up getting hit with a counter lawsuit, and you're going to be the one paying damages. Bro, just let it go. Cut your losses. It is what it is. Now, Niger has taken over. Similar to how Mali took over the massive gold mine from Barrick, Niger has also taken over the uranium operations from France. Now, what I would recommend for Niger to do to, jumpstart operations back up again is do something similar to what Mali did, right? How Mali took a fraction of their gold and sold it for like $100 million to generate seed capital to jumpstart operations at the gold mine again, right? I would recommend a similar thing to the government in Niger, right? Take a fraction of the stockpile of uranium. The demand for uranium is still strong, right? And you already know for a very long time, France was serving as the middleman, reselling the uranium to other nations in the European Union, right? Like Germany and Belgium and things like that. But now with France X'd out of the equation, right? We cut out the middleman. Now you can sell directly to the buyers now, right? You don't need the middleman. The middleman not taking his cut. You can go directly to the buyers and generate some seed capital at market price, right? Not fractions, not pennies on the dollar, and generate that seed capital just like Mali did. That's what I would recommend. If I was the Minister of Finance in Niger, that's what I would do, right? Because now we have taken control over day-to-day operations. So you're going to need that massive injection of capital to get things started back up again and moving again. And like I said, man, you do not need the foreign investor because the gold is going to pay for itself. The uranium is going to pay for itself. Right? You're already sitting on stockpiles of uranium that have not been exported for over a year, right? So, like I said, take a fraction of that, just like Mali did, and then get that injection of capital to get things moving again, right? Take a look up on the screen. Mali's military helicopters airlifts $117 million worth of gold from Barrick's mine amidst tensions, right? So, like I said, man, we don't need foreign investment. The money is already there. The money's already there, man. And one thing I love about the AES is, like I said, they do what I always talk about. Integrate their foreign policy, economic policy, military policy, right? The other day, I seen President Goita on a video call with General Tchiani, right? As you can see, this is what I mean when I talk about Pan-Africanism, right? It's way more intelligent to move as one unit, move as a collective, move as one block, instead of operating alone and solitary. Because when you operate alone, it's easier to pick you off one by one, right? It's easier to exploit you when you're moving as a solitary unit, right? But when you are coordinating your foreign policy, your economic policy, your military policy, now you can move as a united front. You can move as one voice, right? Whether it's trade deals, whether it's diplomatic relations, you can share ideas, right? And that way you're able to strengthen how you move and how you govern the country. Right? When you are able to coordinate with your brothers. So that's what I mean. That's what I talk about, right? That is what I talk about. So as you can see, when it comes to taking back the resources, obviously the leaders in the AES are definitely, sharing notes, sharing ideas. And that's what it's about. Moving together to increase your bargaining power, moving together to increase your leverage, moving together to protect your sovereignty. So that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. And anybody who's against Pan-Africanism, you are the enemy and you deserve to be squashed like an insect, like the insect that you are, right? Like the rodent that you are, like the worthless insect that you are. And that's what it is. So anyways, like I said, 21 gun salute, 21 cannon salute to President General Tchiani, right? President of Niger. 21 cannon salute, President General Goita. 21 cannon salute, Captain Ibrahim Traore, right? Like I said, man, it's the Pan-Africanists doing big things, man. It's the Pan-Africanists that got the Europeans shaking in their boots, the multinationals shaking, running to court, filing lawsuits. It's the Pan-Africanists that got the adversary up all night having sleepless nights, right? He need a dose of the trazodone. It's the Pan-Africanists who are the only ones fighting white supremacy. The only ones. The rest of y'all ain't doing a goddamn thing. And you got the nerve to talk down on the glorious ideology of Pan-Africanism. How dare you? Anyways, man, I'm not going to be here too long, man. It's your boy Neferkari. That's Salim back in the building. Yes, indeed. As you already know, dropped the first music video off the next project, 21 Cannons. Check it out. Link in the description. Pin comment at the top. Subscribe to the Patreon, NTD1814. And I'm gone. Peace. King of the North, and I feel like Moise. Took a few losses, I'm back on my feet. Selling they soul for trinkets and cash. Right on the front like the leader from Chad. Feel like I see me, I feel like I'm Idris. Walking on gold, I handle my business. Honor, integrity, money, and power. Told me she love me, she want me in power. Told her I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Told her come over, come see me in person. Told her come over, I'm sick of the talking. Don't got no time cause that money be calling. Working all night and I'm up in the morning. Love when I call her, she love my attention. Body and soul, I'm truly protected. Back on that road and big body business. Told her I love her, I told her she mine. Get in that passenger seat, we gon' ride. Back on my mission, that money been stacking. Came from the bottom, I'm steady expanding. Run to the check and I pull up and vanish. Grabbing the neck from the back when I smash. Don't need no question, they know it's official. Cut from the cloth and my life ain't no fiction. Ride for the scene like I'm army enlist. Gotta stay focused, I'm moving deliberate. Heart of a king and my heart full of pain. Look at my neck and it's flooded with chains. And I got Desaline blood in my veins. Enemy watching, I stay with a flame. Keep it 100, they know how we move. Black on black beam, interior blue. How you gon' leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart, you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see perfection. But I'm authentic, I'm whipping the 7. Like it's a phantom, I'm still manifesting. Gotta get money, I gotta get paid. Stay on my toes when I'm ducking these snakes. Go to my wrist and the queen on my arm. Feeling my energy, loving my charm. Might go put Desaline face on a piece. Ready for war, that's how you get peace. Know I'm protected, I'm ready for action. When I walk in, I need 21 cannons. Secret location, I'm up in the palace. One of a kind and she loving my manners. One of a kind and I'm telling the truth. His and her Bentleys, I gotta get two. Feeling like future, we never gon' lose. Feeling like Garvey, I'm running the block. Entering off firm and I'm letting off shots. King of the north and I'm up at the top. How you gon' leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart and you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see